Hi guys, welcome back to Anderson Outdoors. Today I'm going to show you how I make a couple of my custom food buckets that I have that I set out for the deer. Alright, so next, so that this food material doesn't stick into the bucket, I'm going to pour a little bit of vegetable oil in it. Don't go overboard, but make it enough where you can smooth it out. Then take a paper towel, rub it around the bottom, get all the sides. That way when you pop it out, it doesn't stick. Same to the other one. And that's what it should look like. Just apply a liberal amount to it. That way, when you pop your food in there, it's going to be hot and it's going to dry. I'll let mine dry for about 2 days, and then when you go to tip it back over and pop it out, it'll slide right out with that vegetable oil coating it. So I've already pre-mixed my bucket over here that I'll show you, but in the bucket today I'm going to use oats, shelled corn, and then crumble layer. And then I also have molasses, but the molasses is already pre-mixed in here, so this is what my tub looks like. So I just scoop it out, put it in my buckets, and then I'm ready to go. So I'll show you how I get these prepared and ready to go out in the woods. Alright, next I'm going to load these 2 tubs up right here, and I'm going to go pop these in the oven. Kind of have mine measured out so I know 2 pans will fit in 1 bucket. If you want to, you can always dry put it in there first in your bucket to see how much you need before you put the oil in there. Like I said, this stuff's already been pre-mixed. This is from last year. I still have these bags. I think I've probably made 6 blocks already, so I think it'll make anywhere from about 150 pounds of food once you get it all mixed in. Alright, and that's what it should look like after, and I'll show you the next step. Like I said, all this stuff is purchased at my local co-op. This is what the oats look like. You can see it. This is what the oats look like. Just normal shelled corn. You can buy it anywhere, but it's just cheaper at my local co-op. And like I said, here's some of the crumble from the chicken layer feed. The only thing I don't have to show you is the molasses. So my mix ratio on my deer food plot blocks that I have is 2 to 1. So essentially I do 2 cups of layer crumble, 2 cups of molasses, and that'll be adding 1 cup of oats, and then 1 cup of the shelled corn. So it's 2 to 1 ratio, and just keep adding that in as you go. You can go 4 cups to 2, and then just mix it in a little bit and keep going. Like I said, most of the stuff right here that I have is already pre-mixed from last year that I've had left over. So that's about what the mix should look like. Generally, once you get done, you can always make it a little bit more or a little bit less, but that crumble and the molasses is what actually holds it and binds it together. And I'll show you the next process on how to get it mixed up and ready to prep for the oven. Okay, and continuing on, so we're gonna get this ready to get prepped and get put in the oven. So we have to make it a little bit sticky. That molasses will loosen up a little bit and make it sticky, but I generally add a little bit of vegetable oil. After that, go ahead and add your syrup. This is just great value syrup that you can use. This will allow it to stick together. Like I said, just pour it on there liberally, and then we will go ahead and get it mixed up after that. There's really no set ratio as far as like syrup and all that I put in here. It's just enough to, you'll see when it kind of gets to that consistency, when you get it mixed up, you'll know that you have enough in there. I would say generally you're probably going to mix 1 big one per each container here, or not per each container, it will be split in half. So mix this up. Okay, now that we got that a little bit compacted, I have 2 cups of sugar in here, so it's going to be 1 cup per each bucket. A little more syrup. So make sure to get a utensil to get it mixed around. It'll look a little bit sticky once you get it going. Like I said, once you pop it in the oven, it will bake it all up and it will release that molasses, which will get a little bit stickier too, so it doesn't need to be soaked in it. That's not what you want, so it will not bake properly. Something just like that where it looks like it's wet. Like I said, consistency is make sure it's all mixed around, smooth it around, make sure everything gets coated in it. If you want to, towards the very last end, if stuff's looking just a little dry, you can dump just a little bit of vegetable oil on it. That'll bake in there, and then you can mix that up once you get it baked after properly. So, like I said, just try and get no dry spots in there if you can, but not enough to where it's sitting in the wet, or sitting in the syrup. And the corn oil there, you don't want it to be standing in there, just enough to where it gums up a little bit and it looks sticky. Alright, well these are ready for the oven. I'll go show you. We'll pop these in for 1 hour at about 350 degrees. You shouldn't have to rotate them or anything or mix them up, but if you want to, you can mix it a little bit. After that, we'll take them out of the oven. I'll show you how to pack them in the buckets, and then we'll let them sit and dry. Okay, the oven is set at 350 for 1 hour. I'll show you what these look like. Alright, we're going to get this loaded up here real quick in this bucket, and I'll show you how we get it packed down. This is coming out of the oven from an hour. It is a little hot, so you wash your hands. Alright, so that's about what one pan looks like. We're going to mash it down here and get it packed in. I like to use the old handy dandy sledgehammer. Get this bucket packed down. Do watch out, don't go full force on this thing. It will split the bucket open on the very bottom. I just pack that first bucket down. That's what it should look like right there. And we'll get the second one added. Like you said, you can make as much as you want in a bucket. You can do 3 pans. Like I said, I generally just dry fill it up before I put the vegetable oil in there. That'll give you kind of a estimate on how much food and stuff you want to put in there to make your beer block. Save these pans, you can reuse them. This is the ones I used from last year, so don't throw them away. this last one down. The top, you want it to be packed a little bit more than what you did on the first tray. That way everything holds together. Let it sit. All right, and that's it. Right there, I got a half of a 5-gallon bucket packed down and it's ready to go. I'll show you here in the next couple days. Once it gets set up, I'll throw it out there for the deer and let you see what the results are. All right, the second batch just got done out of the oven. Get this mixed up in here, pack it down. Bring out the trusty sledgehammer, get this packed down. Now you can use a stick or anything for this that you want to pack down. I just found the sledgehammer packs more at a time, and it's definitely got the weight to it. This is an 8-pound sludge. Seems like it gets packed down there pretty well. Like I said, just use whatever you have around the house to get stuff packed down and get stuff taken care of, you know. Don't go out and buy a bunch of stuff to do this. Stuff does make a mess, so do it somewhere where you can just blow it or take it out after. Like I said, on the final pack on the very top, try and get it pretty well set. Don't go too hard or it will crack the bottom of the bucket and it'll blow it out. So just get it nice and firmly packed, and then I will let this sit for about a day or two. I try and store it somewhere where it's cool and dry. These buckets, once they're filled up and stuff, you can let them sit for, I don't know, anywhere up to a couple weeks or whatever and dump them out then. So they do work great when you're fall prepping and stuff and you want to get a couple buckets taken care of at a time. You can just make 3 to 4 buckets at a time, get them packed, and then just dump them out when you're ready. So there you go. I'll show you what both the buckets look like. Alright, so this is what both the buckets look like. Like I said, this is about half of a 5-gallon. This is about half of what the green bucket is, which I believe is also another 5 gallons, just in a little bit different shape. So this is what they are. I will let them sit for anywhere from 2 to 3 days, let them harden up, like I said, somewhere cool and dry. They will firm up, and then I'll show you the final result once we get them tipped out. Alright, this is what the deer block looks like, and it's finished. Set it out here, see if we get any results. Alright, so here's the final results of the deer food block. Couple good taps, this is what it looks like. Let me show you a close-up. I honestly prefer this green bucket over the white bucket. It seems like it formed just a little bit better. And honestly, you can make them a little bit taller too. You could probably put 3 pans compared to 2 pans in here. So stay tuned. I'll show you what the results are and see how many deer are on this. Well, thank you for tuning in to Anderson Outdoors. I will give you an update here once we get these buckets tipped out, and then I will show some photos on there and stuff of what deer have actually been around there and eaten them and how long do you think they will last. I've had anywhere between 5 to 7 days is probably what these will last. I've made these in about, with prep time, probably an hour and 20 minutes. It takes an hour to bake. It's about 15 minutes to get stuff mixed up, time back and forth to get it popped in the oven. Like I said, pre-mix your buckets or whatever. I just put it in a like 36-gallon galvanized tote that I got at the farm store. Put that in there. That way it's easy to just scoop it out, mix it up, and you're good to go. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe.